Cool.
Darwin, thank you so much for making the trip and coming in. We're really excited to have you on the show. And for the people who don't know you, let's share a little bit about your background. So, how did things start out for you?
Yeah, no, good. Joe, thank you for having me. Appreciate you. Yeah, my name is Darwin, born and raised in Honduras. I came here to the States for college. Dad's a engineer. My mom's a doctor. So I kind of have the standard of like, okay, you better go to college. And my dream was always to come here. You know, you always have that American dream in your mind. And I was always, I didn't really know what I wanted in terms of like that career itself.
Yeah.
But I knew I really wanted to be successful in whatever I did.
Yeah.
So I came here. My major was petroleum engineering based on a Google search that I did. Highly paid engineering careers.
Gotta love Google, man.
Because I knew I was not going to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Doctors get paid well, but I didn't see myself doing it. So petroleum engineering came first, and I was like, oh, oil and gas. Yeah, Shell, Chevron, they pay really well.
Yeah.
And then I started to contact people that were in the industry, and they were like, yeah, Darwin, you do really well. You should come to Texas. I'm like, cool, I'm sold. Let's go.
Awesome.
You know, and then came here, started looking at schools. I started to look at UT, you know, all the schools. So I did what was best for my mom's interest too, which was community college. You might know international students pay like 4 times the amount like a
wow
in-state or out-of-state will pay.
Yeah.
Just we pay the price for coming from outside.
Yeah.
My mom was not super rich, but she sacrificed to be able to give us our best education. But she was like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll make the sacrifice. But I just knew it I had a gut feeling that it was not going to be sustainable.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's just do community college. And by researching the idea, I came to the conclusion that there was a community college. Because back home, they advertise the actual school. Like, come to A&M, come to U of H, so they can charge a full price.
Yeah.
Started Lone Star College, so Texas. And then did my first semester, second semester. And I went from being an bad student, no good grades in high school. I just cared about playing soccer and being cool. Like, I just really wanted to make enough to be able to make it to the game.
Yeah.
To like my mom saying, okay, I'm putting all my coins in your bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you better make this work.
Mm-hmm.
So I came from, okay, no soccer anymore. I'm going to focus on studying. That's when I realized that when I put my focus on something, I'm able to perform.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of like, she gave me no other option. Either you swim or swim. No single swim or swim.
Yeah.
So I started classes like chemistry. Wow, I was super bad at it. Like, no way passing grade. I was starting to make good grades.
Yeah.
I was getting 90s and like things were rocking, right?
You were
and
applying yourself.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
And I was actually enjoying it. You know, I just did it enough times that it came as a muscle energy. And so the barrel went all the way down. That year that the oil industry went all the way down, all the people I was in contact with from Shell, Chevron got fired.
Wow.
I'm like, well, I'm an international student. The odds are against me.
Yeah.
I still got time to switch. So I did a decision that my mom was not proud of back then, but now she's really proud, which I switched my career without telling her.
Wow. What'd you do?
So I did supply chain management logistics.
Okay. And so you were still at the same university?
Yeah,
right?
same university. And I just didn't tell her. I just enrolled in the classes, and she doesn't speak English. So she would just get the bill because she was paying for college.
Yeah.
I was paying for all the living expenses.
Yeah.
You know, I was paying for car, rent. She just paid one rent. That was it. And then I was like, Mom, I'm gonna make a name for myself. Like, let me work. I was working on a job, 4 a.m. to 2 p.m. as a butcher, making $6 an hour.
Wow.
Okay. 4 to 2. And then I will go to college from 3 p.m. to like night. I remember getting out and being, nighttime. And then I'll get home, repeat. On the weekends, I'll park cars with a ballet company. And that's how I will make cash money, extra money. So, I was grinding. I really met the grinding Darwin there.
Yeah.
And just doing that, graduated, did everything. And then I remember graduation time, my mom comes and she's like, so happy we're gonna have another engineer in the family. And I'm like, Mom, well,
about that.
we gotta have a talk.
Yeah.
You remember when the barrel went all the way down?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I made a switch. So you're actually gonna have a business
Yeah.
guy in the family. And she didn't talk to me for like the morning of the ceremony. When I got my diploma, she was like, oh yeah, so happy. Whatever. But getting into sales, that was the game changer for me.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I started an internship with an oil and gas company because I still wanted to be involved in oil and gas, but not just in the chemistry, scientist way, right? In the money side.
Oh, of course.
So I started this internship, and I did it for a year and a half. So, and I was doing great. I was rocking because, it was more like, okay, contacting point A, point B, making sure that we're getting the price that we're asking for, or the price that they have. Like they have a budget, making sure you don't go over that, making sure that the guys are on site, all that stuff. So I was getting trained, and I started to see things that were like, I started to hear calls specifically with suppliers.
Yeah.
And suppliers will say no. I'm like, man, I mean, he could have asked this.
Yeah.
Could have asked that. And I'm like, I'm in training. I cannot say like, dude,
Can't overstep the boundary. Yeah.
But I started to tap into my sales skills. I didn't think they were sales skills. I thought they were just like logic.
Yeah. Communication
kind of thing. I just didn't have like the word sales in my mind.
Yeah.
Sales is such a thing that's pushed, especially in America, but back in my country too, back in Honduras, like you don't want to be a salesperson.
Yeah.
So I started that, and then started the training, did it for a full week, and now I'm by my own. And then, you're in a cubicle, and then you can hear calls.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, that guy messed up that call, and I was getting so many good results from day one.
Yeah.
My boss loved me. I remember him asking me like, hey, did that guy train you well? And I was like, yeah, credits to him,
Trying to be polite, but not give him all the credit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I had an idea that I was like, damn, if this guy's mess up this calls, I wonder, this company has been operating for years. So I told my boss, hey, give me the stats of clients that have said no for the past 6 years.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, but those accounts are closed. Like, no, I was like, no, I'll do it on my own time. Like, I'll still make the calls that I need to make.
Yeah.
And I closed at a 30% range.
I love that, dude. So you took the no pile and you got 30% back from it.
Yep.
That's awesome. And
I got it for the price that they wanted, the time that they wanted the contract for. And that's when my boss was like taking me to dinners, like, you're a young guy, 20 years old, like almost like graduated college, like the perfect guy.
Where you showed how valuable you can be to his business, right?
Exactly. And I was only doing it part-time.
Yeah.
I was only doing it part-time because I remember talks like, hey, where are you going to be in 10 years? All this stuff. Like, we really got personal. He had the kids, the house, the Bentley, I wanted to be like this guy.
Yeah.
This guy was like 45, 50. But for me, this was my picture of success, I was like, I want to be this guy. Then graduation time comes, and I'm like, well, Tim, I'm gonna go to do full time now because I'm graduating, and like, you're invited. This is my way of telling you you're invited. And then he's like, I remember his face.
Yeah.
It's in my mind engraved. He's like, well, I don't take those decisions, Darwin. I like your enthusiasm and everything, but we'll have to submit it to corporate. I'm like, well, I thought this was the boss.
Yeah.
I thought this was the guy that called the shots. Like, do I really want to be like this guy?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sure they will say yes. There's performance, but there's corporate.
Yeah.
In corporate, there's rules that are engraved in stone. Even if you're the best of the best, there are things that if they don't align with corporate, you're just like,
yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's not, So report comes back saying that I've only been in the company for a year and a half, which is not, it doesn't comply with the entry level requirements, which is, as you may know, 2 years for any company.
Yeah.
So Tim Tremblay is his name, if he's watching. The guy changed my life. He said, go do 6 months in another company. It'll be great for you. I'm sure that when you end up with us, you're going to stay forever, but go experience something else. Go for 6 months. I mean, I already spoke to the person on the top. After 6 months, you just bring the record. We'll hire you right away, full time.
Yeah.
And I'm an international student.
Yeah.
I'm like making plans around this company. Yeah, I'm gonna do all this, mom. All of a sudden, I'm like, mom, they fired me pretty much.
Wow.
I gotta find something. And remember, visas expire.
Wow.
So there's an OPT that's a time like a year for you to stay in the country legally work. So I'm like, okay, I got a year, pretty much a year and a half now, to go build a career. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I will have to make it work. Again, it was a swim or swim situation.
Yeah.
So I remember I was looking for any advice. I was even asking for unqualified advice. Like, mom, what should I do? My mom's not here. She doesn't know the educational system.
Yeah.
I should be asking counselors and stuff like that. So I went to a counselor. I was like, hey, so things didn't work out. What do you think I should go for? Like, what kind of jobs should I look for? Because I'm jobless right now.
Yeah.
You should do sales. All those companies hire all the time. You're good at talking to people. You have charisma. I'm like, sales?
Yeah.
Sales? No, it doesn't sound like the college degree person. You know, like
Sounds like it's beneath you.
Exactly. Yeah. I want my I had a different idea of success back then, but
yeah.
I'm like, well, it's only 6 months. I'm going to go through this trial of 6 months, but I remember interviewing. So this is when Rami Cindy comes into the equation. This guy really, really took my mind. It was a privilege working with him. And then he connected me with so many people that are still my coaches, Vera Quinn and Jamie Hebb. I was with Jamie this weekend in California. So that's how far this decision of taking the sales job went. So I interviewed with Rami. I interviewed with different companies, but Rami was the definite factor.
Yeah.
Sharp guy. I saw young people happy equals success. Success equals money.
Yeah.
So I was like, they're in sales, they're happy, they must be making money. And the guy was sharp, good questions. It's like, well, if I'm gonna learn, it's gonna be from this guy.
Yeah.
Out of the other 4 interviews that I took, and then it's only gonna be 6 months. It's gonna be that bad. And I'm gonna be talking to customers. They told me about this door-to-door thing, and I'm like, oh wow, that's weird, but I can make it work. If there's guys like me.
Yeah, if other people can do it, why can't I, right?
Exactly. And I asked for the training. I was like, yeah, it's a 2-week training in which you're like shadowing somebody that's experienced in the field.
Yeah.
I got guys that are 2 to 3 years in and are really successful. I'm like, okay, there's a structure. So that's what I needed. I remember starting 6 months after the interview, right? Because I was waiting to graduate.
Yeah.
Start the job. And it's a door-to-door sales job. So you might know how this thing goes.
Oh, yeah.
And especially for a guy that comes from a corporate environment, it's pretty impactful.
Yeah.
So I remember meeting at the office and morning meeting and atmosphere and doing all the things, high rollers. And we get out and it's like, okay, we're going to go to the field. I'm like, the field? Okay. Is this making calls like Wolf of Wall Street? How is this going to work?
What are we doing?
Yeah. No, we're going to go to the Walmart and we're going to park there. And then from there, we're going to go to other business to business.
Yeah.
Selling office supplies for Staples. That was back then, corporate.
Yeah.
So we start at the beginning of the territory and, tight to the right, hit every business. And I'm seeing this guy just say the same thing over and over again to every single customer. Some people say yes. Some people said no. The first yes, I'm like, okay, that was simple. Yeah. That was my first thing. I was like, damn, if they make money like this, I can make money.
Yeah.
And I was like, how much we make? It's like $200. I'm like, well, that's like 2 weeks of the butcher shop.
Wow. So you instantly start thinking, man, if I do 2 or 3 of those a day and I hit 7 days a week, and you instantly start thinking.
Yeah, no offense to my trainer. Yeah. He was not well dressed. His hair was like, I've always had that factor that I used the scanner, right? Yeah. Like the eye test kind of thing. Yep. I'm like, this is not a guy that I would be happily to see right away. Yeah. If he starts talking, he did have that factor of talking, but I'm like, well, there's certain edges that I have that these people clearly don't have.
Yeah.
The only thing that I had against me was my accent. I really had I still have it, but I had a strong accent by the time. So second day comes around, another girl trains me, same system. And I'm seeing the same thing, same pitch. I'm seeing like a structure. I'm like, well, everybody's saying the same thing. Like a weekend, I can memorize this pitch. And I'm building confidence as I'm going.
Yeah.
Third day, another girl trains me. Fourth day, definite factor. A guy that's Latin like me, same color as skin, same height, trains me.
Yeah.
Makes like $700 or $800 that day.
Wow.
I'm like, I'm gonna be rich.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna be rich. So I remember just going on Saturday, Sunday, murdering this pitch. I'm like, if I can memorize this thing, I'll be successful. First week, I wrote the whole office. I think I made $2,500 that week. And ever since that first week, I ended up number one of the country for the whole organization, for the whole country, ever since I left.
Wow. So
I never, not for a single week. Some weeks, yeah, there was a guy that beat me. His name is James Frederick. He would beat me sometimes, but at the end of my career with them, and it was just relentlessly every week. And I started learning about money, because then, you know, I went from $12 in my bank account when I first started.
You finally got some money, so you had to learn how to manage it.
Yep. And I learned a ton of that part, you know, because all of a sudden you got money, so now you're like, okay, spending. So, but that was pretty much it, and that's how I ended up like opening the cleaning company.
Okay.
Because they gave me a new client for the office. We stopped representing Staples. They gave me a new client, which was Vivint, and they gave me the client. They didn't give me a pitch. So back then they gave me a structure. So panic comes around. I'm like, okay, I'm here by myself.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm the only rep because I was like trying it out for them.
Yeah.
They give me the product, no pitch, no structure, nothing. So I'm like, okay, I gotta piece this out. And Rami just knew, you know, a coach knows how to like push you, how to trigger you, how to make you better.
Yeah.
You know, that's a coach for me. And he just said, wow, you're scared? I'm like, in my inside, I'm like, yes, I'm scared. Yeah. He's like, well, I thought you were a winner. And that was the biggest thing. I'm like, Rami, watch me. Just give me a day or two. I'm gonna figure this out. You know, this is something that's gonna take my game to the next level. It might not be super comfortable at the beginning, but this will really, really pay off in the future. So then we start adding people to the campaign, slowly but surely.
More sales reps.
Reps. And I was training them on a pitch that I built, and they get results. And then they add another person, and then they get results. And then they get another person. And all of a sudden, we got a 12-man office running. And we're selling solar, too, which is a high-ticket object, you know, and we were selling. And I'm like, dude, like 5 months in, I'm like, I built this. You know?
It's a good feeling.
So I was able to build. It had his name. It had Rami's name.
Yeah.
But he empowered me.
And you knew that whole operation wouldn't have happened without you.
Exactly.
So all of a sudden you started thinking to yourself, well, what if I was the guy collecting all the profits for this?
There you go. That was my biggest feeling, you know, because there's a time in which you just feel that something inside of you. You're like, okay, what if I do something else? And I started just getting seduced by the idea. So I had a cleaner in Dallas, and he was coming to my place every 2 weeks. I'll pay him $160 every 2 weeks to clean my place. Yep. So it's $320 a month. You know, but built a relationship with this guy. This guy was super good. Yeah. You know, I'll wait for him like, hey, I'm like, tomorrow's the cleaning. That's good. I'll feel it as a necessity, you know, instead of an expense. Yeah. So I remember when he started serving my apartment, it was because my neighbor used him. And then all of a sudden, I start seeing him every day in the building. I was living in Sky House, Dallas. And, you know, there's one elevator. So we bumped into each other so many times. So I'm like, this guy has a lot of clients. And like, it's sometimes God acts in certain weird ways to lure you some places. So I received a bank statement. And you know how, I don't know what bank you use, but Chase will send you like snapshots of like, you spent so much money on this. And my number one expense was cleaning that year.
Yeah.
You have spent so much money to this guy. I think it was like $7,000 to $8,000 with tips and everything, you know? So I was like, dude, this guy works with all my building.
Yeah.
So I started making numbers. I'm like, he works with 5 in my building. He works with a couple of my friends. So next time he cleans, I'm like, dude, I have a question for you. How much money you made last year? He starts laughing and I'm like, no, this guy doesn't know English, Joe.
Yeah.
Like in skills level and market value, he's really low in terms of like what you will look for a candidate. You know? It's like, well, I made 250,000. I'm like, dude, you don't even know English. You don't have any sales skills. How many doors have you knocked? He's like, knocking doors. I'll leave that for you.
Yeah.
So my business is strictly referral.
Wow.
And in my mind, I was like, poof. How long have you done this? 6 years. I can get you those results in 1 year.
Wow.
You know?
So you partner up with him? No.
I paid him for him to train me.
Wow.
So I paid him for a full week. I'm like, I'm going to pay you $2,000. You train me, take me to houses, put me to work. And he's like, dude, no, I got to pay you if you're going to clean. It's like, no. I want to learn. Teach me everything you know.
Yeah.
You know, inside the house, what to do. And he's like, well, what are you going to do? You're quitting your job. Because this guy had massive respect for me. I'm in a suit and tie every day. You know, he saw calls that I was running with people.
He didn't know the value of what he had.
He didn't know. You see, many times. Yeah. So he trains me for a full week, introduces me to his guys. He's got a 15-man crew. Like, this guy brings so much value and he doesn't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you have a gem here. Like, he's like, yeah, it's all right. I'm like, dude, no. That's the reason why you probably stayed at 250 all this time.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what do you want to do? Like, you want to open up a business? And he's like, and I'm like, yeah, I want to open up a business. And I see a big gap in the cleaning business. Because then I started doing my own research, websites. I'm like, cleaning companies. There's not a lot of professional cleaning companies. There's not a Steve Jobs of cleaning.
Yeah.
It's not a well-developed industry because it's taken not so seriously.
Yeah.
And typically you don't have a cleaning company, you have a cleaner.
Yeah.
That goes to your place just like I had. But it was because he liked to do those apartments because it was luxury apartments and he was afraid about losing his clientele there. Yeah. So he will give his no so important customers to the other guys. And so I started making numbers. I'm like, okay, if a customer pays 160 just like me, okay, how many, this is recurrent. That's $300 a month. Okay, how many customers would it take me to get to a $500,000 business? You know, I started adding 10. Okay, so that's a 30,000 cash flow. Okay, 20, 60. And then I started making the math. And I'm like, okay, I average 20 customers in Staples before. What if I do it for my own cleaning company? So I do what I do best, which is door knocking.
Yeah.
I tried different cities. I went to California. I went to New York. And then my last destination is kind of like God put it that way to just close it in the best way was Austin. And I knocked in Austin. My first day in Austin, I got 6 customers. 6 customers just, yeah, I've been waiting for a cleaning service. Thank God. I'm like, dude, there's a high demand for this. And I just made up the price. I was like, how much? $220. That's more than I pay. And she was like, yeah. No, let me think about it.
Just instant, yes.
And I need you to come once a week. I'm like, man, that's $1,000 a month right there in one sale.
Yeah.
So I'm I'm just rolling. I'm like, hey, I'm already helping your neighbor Amy. Like, you know, and then they just started saying, yes. Hey, I have a sister. Hey. So I'm like, day one, I knew I was going to stay there in Austin. You know, so started in Austin, and then I was knocking and cleaning. So I would knock from 9 to 12, take lunch from 12 to 12:45. Then I'll be I'll clean from 9 to 12. Then 12:30, I'll go eat something. And then at 1, I'll get back to knocking, 1 to 5. And then if there was a house that was scheduled like a move out cleaning, you know, typically you're moving out till night. Yeah. I'll do another cleaning at night, but it was all by myself. I didn't have any partners. I got out of Dallas because that was his business, but he doesn't want more clients anyways.
Yeah.
But out of respect, I just wanted to get out of there.
You didn't want to compete with the guy who was good to you and taught you and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, there was a time in which I was like, okay, I just need to grow my clientele to the point that I can hire one person.
Yeah.
So I grew it to, I think, 20 clients.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I need help. So I hired a part-time. And then I just kept, I had more time because, okay, a house that I'll finish by myself in 3 hours, we'll do it now in 2 hours.
Yeah.
So now I had more time for knocking, which equal to more customers.
More revenue, and therefore, yeah. Okay.
And the only way you will lose a customer is by bad service.
Yeah.
Like once you add a customer, it's forever there.
Yeah.
Like I have customers that week one have been with me and loyal, super loyal, and they have brought me so much business out of referrals, you know?
Yeah.
And just keep adding, and I kept adding people. People is the most important factor in now that I'm like a year into this. People is the most important factor. Then I hire second person, third person,
You mean
fourth
your
person.
staff, your employees are the
Staff.
most important. Yeah.
100%. They're the most important thing because I
Definitely.
cannot be everywhere at every time.
Yeah.
No, we're in 5 houses right now, and
Yeah.
I'm here, and the customers are happy.
Yeah.
You know, and not all of them are recurrent. So, adding people, but adding people that add value.
Yeah.
That's the biggest piece. Because out of desperation, you're like, I need help. You'll hire anybody.
Yeah.
And I made that mistake before.
Definitely.
And you know, in a residential business, especially commercial and residential, you're giving the keys somebody to a house, which they have their car keys right there.
Yeah.
They have the intimacy, like, you know, and it's so easy to develop great relationship with your customers when you're cleaning their house, you know.
Yeah.
So that has been good for us.
Yeah, they're getting vulnerable with you. They're letting you into their life.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
so it's a high liability thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I got really good at interviewing.
Yeah.
I got really good at like getting to know people. Like my eye check went to the next level.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well, you cared because that's your business that you built from the ground up, and just one bad hire could mean that person does something that loses you business, and you get a negative review, and that could be incredibly costly.
yeah, especially in such a referral business.
Oh, yeah.
You know, oh yeah, they came in late, they did this, they did that.
Definitely.
Like customers are a little bit hesitant about hiring. You know, I prefer just over delivering every single time, even if I lose.
Yeah.
So let's say if the customer's paying $200 and the guys are like, yeah, but this is super dirty. I'm like, I'm gonna pay you everything that the customer's paying.
Yeah.
Just make sure that the house is well delivered. You know, and the next cleaning, what's funny is not as hard.
Yeah.
Because you already did a deep cleaning at the beginning. So it's not gonna get as dirty as in 2 weeks, you know.
Right.
So then you're gonna win in the next cleaning. So, but many business owners are just like so worried about winning in every transaction,
Yeah.
that they forget about the big vision of the business. My vision is to have over 5,000 recurring customers, but not just customers, but build a network within my customers that we can help each other with other stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I was building the podcast for, and I am building the podcast for. It's like, okay, I have a network of people that through interviewing them and getting to know them, I let them know that I don't care just about their business. I care about their life. I care about their success. I care about learning from them.
Yeah.
And, you know, like once you get to a position in life, you only want to share. You know, and that's my biggest big goal, which is impact. Impact has always been my biggest vision, you know, but first I had to get the money right.
Yeah.
Once I had the money right.
You can't really think big long-term vision when you're sweating your rent payment on Friday. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like parking cars, cutting, you know,
rough,
meat
yeah.
and
Yep.
stuff like that. I couldn't really, I saw it really far.
Yeah.
I just didn't see it close enough, but I just kept getting closer every day, just by doing the right things, you know, and it's a 1% better every day. And then all of a sudden, when you focus 6 months in, 12 months in, you look back and you're like, damn, I haven't looked back in so long. And this has been a long way.
Yeah. That's a lot of 1% that have built up over that whole time, for
Yeah.
sure.
And it compounds.
Incredible. Well, you got your business off the ground there in Austin. And how big did you guys scale it up to?
Yeah, right now we're at roughly $2.2 million in sales.
Wow.
So we got about 15 to 18 guys in the crew. We have a really well-established crew in terms of like the people that do outside cleaning.
Yeah.
Like window cleaning, house washing. We started doing roof cleaning for metal.
Nice.
Also gutters and everything that's outside, like driveways and all that stuff. And then you have your interior cleaning people. That's like, I have a manager for each crew. And then I have a manager training another future manager to replace him. Yeah. And the biggest thing, I think, in scalability is your ability to communicate the big picture to the guys.
Yeah.
Because if they get stuck in the I just have a job thing, you will never grow.
Yeah.
You have to have motivated individuals that want to follow, but also can follow. The only way that they know that they can follow you is by the way you communicate your message, which is the message of the big picture.
Yeah.
Hey, if we get here, I'm going to share the pie with you this way, with a specific numbers, a specific dates, like everything super specific. So it's like a horse and a carrot. You have something that they can chase.
Yeah.
Most of your employees are not going to naturally be, but like, oh yeah, I'm into self-development.
Yeah.
They're not going to naturally do that.
Right.
You are into it because you're the entrepreneur and you know that your business will only grow as much as you grow. You know that. Definitely. But your employees, you don't know that. So you got to incentivize growth in them.
Yeah.
And then you don't tell them what to do. You incentivize how to think.
Yeah.
You create an environment in which they can think for their own self.
Yeah. That's incredibly insightful. So like, what are some of the ways that you do that with your sales reps and your staff? What are some ways that you keep them focused on that vision?
Yes. So let's say making them think for themselves. Mm-hmm. I get a call. Darwin, this happened. Okay. What do you think we should do? We should do this. Okay. And how do you think we should talk to the customer because that happened? Well, based on what we have done, we should do this. Okay. Seems like you have it all taken care of. I guess I did. They never call me back for the same problem.
Yeah.
They never do.
I like that.
And then you empower them to take initiative. You receive less calls, you're less worried. They are the managers of the.
You're creating leaders. You're not creating victims. You're creating leaders. Yeah. I got you. I love that.
So, and that's the biggest thing, and then seeing you every day. I had this advice from one of my customers. It was like, Darwin, you got to be the first one in, last one out. You got to be the one opening the gate and the one closing the gate.
Yeah.
Because you never want to make your employees feel like you're just sitting back since you have recurring revenue. They make their numbers in their mind, Darwin. Like they really do. They always seduce the idea of like, okay, what if I go by my own? And you gotta keep them, you gotta keep them close enough to be able to influence them, empower them, and teach them the ways.
Yeah.
But you gotta keep them far enough to motivate them to be better.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, yeah, I'm learning how to manage a crew and everything, but Darwin's still an essential piece of the business.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll do as well if I would go by myself.
Yeah.
And I always show the guys that I'm really appreciative about what they do, but I never show them that we're done.
Yeah.
Like I can easily say, hey guys, we're not getting any more customers. We're
staying. We're gonna coast. Yeah.
Yeah, we're staying with our clientele right now. Like it's recurring. We're booked 3 months out.
Yeah.
I'm recruiting right now to be able to book more during this month because if you want to schedule an appointment, I have to schedule you December time. So I can easily do that and the business will still be profitable. But is that satisfying the vision? No.
Yeah.
And the moment that you're not congruent with the vision that you communicate to your people is the moment that your people start quitting on you. People don't quit. People don't quit on companies. They quit on leaders.
Yeah. So true.
So.
Yeah, you got to have a vision big enough that everybody on your team's vision actually fits into that.
Yep.
So that's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, now that you guys have been so successful and you're growing so much, what are some of the goals that you've got on the horizon?
Yeah. In terms of goals, I want to be able to expand to different cities. Like right now, we have a solid market in Dallas that we've been able to do. One of my friends, good friends, but organically promote somebody. Yep. Like somebody that started as a cleaner that was probably making $11. That's the average that they were making in their past jobs, and is making $20 an hour with me to be a business owner. That's always been my vision.
Yeah.
Empower people to the point that they can manage your own self to manage others, to lead others. Because I learned this, you cannot manage people. You can only lead people. You manage resources. You manage money, you manage the trucks, you manage the equipment, but you can only lead people. So I want to promote 3 of the guys that we have in our crew to management. Yeah. How we'll do this, we'll go to a different city and we'll split profits 50-50. So you come from being normal Joe to being my partner. Yeah. You just got to show me that first. You can teach people how to work. You first can do the work yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you can teach others how to work. And then you can develop others to do the same.
I love that. That's incredible. So next level for you is really developing more leaders. And then in turn, that'll help you expand into other cities, other states. And next thing we know it, you're going to be all over the world, man.
Yeah. It gives us a higher reach. I concentrate on the development of my people. The money will take care of itself. Yeah. Like if we're in 3 more cities, like it's going to be natural that we're going to start selling more. So
for sure.
It will take care of itself.
Well, dude, that's incredible. And, throughout your whole journey, I'm sure you've learned tons of lessons through this whole process. So what would you say is like one of the most valuable lessons that you've had to learn that you really think everybody could benefit from hearing?
One of the hardest lessons I've known. Yeah. Nobody's going to work as hard as you're working in your own business. It's not going to happen. You're not going to find it. I mean, it's not going to happen. You might find people that are really motivated and really want to do well for themselves, but you won't find that person that's willing to go through a wall for your business every day. Maybe one day. Yeah. Maybe one day of the week, but not every day. So I stopped creating expectations in my mind of how people will act. And instead, I started creating like a non-negotiable list for me. And then if I would control my controllables, the controllables would in turn take care of the uncontrollables for me.
It's awesome.
So I don't control anything that I cannot control. I don't give time to the weather, so we cannot do the window cleaning. I'm like, how can I be prepared if it rains? What would the company do? Yeah. Can we reschedule for a different day? Or maybe if it rains in the morning, we can reschedule for the afternoon. The rain already did half of the job. Yeah. All those things, I just look at things differently. Things hit the fan and I'm like, I start asking questions. I get curious. Instead of getting panicked, I'm like, okay, what is this trying to teach me? What weakness is this trying to expose? Yeah. What do I need to work on? Why did this even happen? Has this happened before? Is this a pattern or is this a new thing? Was this my fault or was this something that just happened because the season isn't in the season, So, and I start getting answers. And then as soon as I start getting answers, I'm like, okay, this is something I cannot control. Okay, I'm not going to give it my time. Yeah. So I'm just going to control what I can control. So those things that I can control the controllables in turn.
Love that. Well, dude, I've loved having you on the show, and I'm sure everybody's going to benefit a ton from everything you shared. So if people want to get in touch with you, maybe they're interested in your business or they just want to pick your brain, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Yeah. I mean, my Instagram's really active. So LICDFAJARDO 21. And then my Facebook's pretty open. So Darwin Fajardo. I don't know if there's a domain for Facebook. And then for Twitter in turn, it's the same. So I'm always open to learn. I'm always open to help others too. I started a coaching business in a way. Nice. I have about 12 people that I coach in terms of door-to-door sales, how to start a home business and all these things. So that's something I just started. I'm conversating with it, but it's had great results.
That's awesome. Well, I think anybody'd be really lucky to learn from your integrity and your competence and how quickly your business has been successful. I think anybody would be lucky to learn from you. So,
Yeah.
Darwin, thank you so much for being on the show today, man.
Thank you, Joe.